The movie starts with this gang boss named Fiennes. She's telling her assistant to round up the rest of the crew for a new mission. Then another boss pops up, a guy named Fraser. He's threatening some dude, saying he's going to take him out if he screws up again. We find out Fiennes and Fraser are some of the baddest criminals in England, and they're the reason crime's been wild in London lately. Next, we cut to a different crew. A chick named Aid is talking to a guy named Edward, telling him to stay put in the car until their job is done and not to move no matter what happens. Aid tries to sneak into the place they're going to rob for the jewelry. She acts all Russian, speaking Russian, and pretending she can't figure out how to open the door. Aid is just stalling to buy time so the rest of the crew can come in through the back and box him in at the same time. The lady inside actually buys the act, thinks Aid can't open the door, and goes over to help, but Aid suddenly smacks her. Right then, the rest of the crew busts in and jumps the security guy. Aid threatens the employee to open the safe, so she has no choice but to open it and hand over the jewels. Aid grabs the jewelry, but some dude working there tries to jump her. Aid handles it and gets the situation under control. The crew manages to get out of the place with the jewels, hit the car fast, and take off. A little later, Aid is talking to one of her crew members, Roman. She tells him she wants to settle down and have a family, and she knows he loves her and wants the same thing. But Roman tells her he ain't ready for kids, and they're good just the way they are. He tries to talk her out of it, saying she's already got her brother to worry about, so she doesn't need kids. Aid tells him she'll always be responsible for her brother, but that's not going to stop her from building a family. Aid is pissed, and Roman tries to chill her out. She tells him she needs him to decide right now if they're going to make it work or split up. Roman says he doesn't want kids, their work is too risky, and kids don't fit into that. Aid says she's ready to quit the game completely and leave the crew, but Roman says their work is too important and they don't know how to do anything else. Aid blows up and tells him to leave. Roman actually walks out. Years later, Aid is with her daughter and runs into Roman. Roman is psyched to see her again. He meets her daughter, Charlotte, and is surprised she actually got the family she wanted. Charlotte has disabilities and can't talk, so Roman uses sign language with her. Roman asks Aid if she's married, but Aid dodges the question and doesn't answer. Roman tells her he wanted to ask her out for dinner, but wasn't sure if her husband would be cool with it. She tells him she can't go out at night because of her daughter, but Aid invites him over to the house instead. Roman is happy and agrees. That night he shows up and they have dinner. Roman asks about her husband again, but Aid shuts him down and doesn't answer. Roman tells her he's leaving town in 2 weeks anyway, says goodbye and takes off. Then a gang raids Aid's house. They threaten to murder her daughter, and they kill Aid's friend, Edward. They threaten to kill her brother too. They tell her Fraser gave her only 1 day to get $500,000 ready. They take her daughter hostage and bounce. Aid is heartbroken and tries to figure out what they meant. Edward tells her he's the reason this whole mess is happening. Aid calls Roman, tells him a gang snatched her daughter, and she needs him. She asks him to bring a bunch of heat, guns. Soon after, Roman shows up with their old buddy, Kreese. Kreese tells Aid he's going to help her out to repay a favor she did for him way back. Aid tells them Fraser's gang and Fiennes' crew have serious beef, and if they rip off Fiennes' jewels, they can pit the two gangs against each other. That'll keep Fiennes busy while they sell the jewels and pay Fraser so they can get Charlotte back. But Edward objects, saying he put them in this jam, so he should be the one to fix it. Aid tries to talk sense into him, saying there's no other way to get this over with and bring Charlotte home safe. They actually hit Fiennes' jewelry store, beat up everyone inside, and steal the jewelry. Next, Fiennes shows up, chilling with her grandson. She tries to calm him down so he'll sleep. Then she leaves him and heads to a secret room in her house. Her guys are there, and the people who worked at the jewelry store are locked up. She's trying to figure out who stole from her. She tells them she knows one of them is a rat, but they swear they don't know anything. She murders 2 of them, so the third guy is forced to confess. He says he knows one of the guys who robbed the store. His name is Roman, and he was his army buddy. He begs her to let him live so he can get the jewels back, but Fiennes decides to ice him right away. Meanwhile, Aid and her crew go to Kreese's friend's house. Aid asks Edward to stay there and not move so he'll be safe. She tells him she and Roman are going to finish the job alone, but Kreese's friend refuses to let them stay. Aid slips him some cash, so he agrees to let Edward and Kreese crash there. Roman talks to Aide, telling her Fiennes has to think Fraser's crew is behind the robbery until they sell the jewels. He says Sia is the one who can tell Fiennes, because she knows how to reach her. We find out Ada used to work for Sia and then left. Aide agrees to go. She says goodbye to her brother and tells him not to do anything stupid till the day is over. Then Aide heads to Sia's place, but a couple of thugs attack her on the way. She beats him up and gets to Sia's place. One of Sia's bodyguards tries to block her, but Aide smacks him too. She talks to Sia's assistant, asks her to let her in, and gives her money. The assistant agrees but says she'll tell Sia. At the same time, Edward is spilling the beans to Kreese's friend. He tells him he caused the whole mess. He says he used to drive for Fraser, and his buddy talked him into stealing a little bit of Fraser's merchandise. He did it, thinking Fraser wouldn't notice. But Fraser found out, killed his buddy, and now his niece is kidnapped because of him. Kreese's friend lays into him for being so stupid, wondering how he could mess with the biggest criminal in the country. Edward says he knows he always gets his sister into trouble, but she always protects him, and she even killed their dad, who used to beat and torture him. Then Edward freaks out and starts pounding the floor. Kreese's friend tells him to shut up, warning him that if the neighbor comes down, he'll kill them all. But Edward keeps yelling. Kreese punches him to make him be quiet. Kreese's friend is panicking. Sure enough, the neighbor comes down, looking heated. Kreese's friend apologizes for the noise, but the neighbor jumps him. Kreese tries to hit the neighbor but can't. He runs, grabs his gun, and threatens the guy to leave. The guy finally backs off. Right then, Aide gets to Sia. Sia is mad at her for ditching the job, but Aide says she's there with important info. A gang stole Fiennes' jewelry. Sia says she already knew that. Aide cuts her off, says she knows who did it, and that she'll tell her who stole the jewels if Sia leaves her alone and calls off her guys. Sia agrees. Meanwhile, Roman meets a jewelry buyer to sell the stolen stuff. He's surprised the buyer made him meet in a secluded spot. The buyer says he needs to be careful. He starts inspecting the jewels but realizes they were stolen from Fiennes. Roman says he doesn't know what he's talking about, but the buyer doesn't buy that Roman's out of the loop. He still takes the jewelry and gives him the cash. Then the buyer talks to his assistant in sign language, telling him to finish off Roman. Roman catches on. He knows the buyer is going to double-cross him. Back with Sia, she asks Aide to put her hands in shackles if she really wants her protection and if she trusts her. Aide agrees and Sia locks her up, but it's a setup, and she won't let Aide go. At that moment, Kreese's friend tells Kreese and Edward to leave, saying he doesn't want any more drama. But Kreese says they can't leave now. Kreese's friend is stressed. Suddenly, the neighbor shows up again and kills Kreese's friend. He has another guy with him. Edward runs to hide. Kreese tries to fight him. He throws a fire extinguisher at them and shoots it. It explodes and he manages to kill them. Aide punches Sia and manages to snap the chains. She beats up her bodyguards. Aide tells Sia that Fraser stole Fiennes' jewelry because he wants her to look weak and wants a war. Aide leaves and walks out. Meanwhile, Edward comes out of his hiding spot and finds Kreese badly injured. He tries to take the bullet out of his body, but Kreese dies. Edward breaks down and cries. Then we go to Roman. He tells the buyer he understands sign language. Roman pulls his gun and threatens to kill the buyer. The buyer laughs, saying he must have misunderstood. But Fiennes' guys show up. Fiennes tells them to wipe out everyone. They start shooting at Roman and the buyer. Fiennes' guys try to make a deal with Roman, but he knows they're just trying to set him up. He refuses and tries to kill them. He actually manages to kill them. Aide gets back home and finds their friend, and Kreese dead. She frantically looks for Edward, but calms down when she finds him okay. She asks him what happened. He tells her he's the reason for every bad thing that happens. Aide tries to calm him down, saying they'll save Charlotte and they're almost done. Edward tells her he's been a dead weight since he was a kid, and she always protects him while he only hurts her. Aide tells him to can it, saying she's his older sister, and that's her job. Edward promises he'll make it up to her. Just then, the neighbor ain't dead yet and tries to shoot Aide. Edward sees it and sacrifices himself, quickly jumping in front of her. He takes the bullet and dies. Aide is stunned. She grabs the gun and unloads on the guy, shooting him over and over until Roman shows up and tries to calm her down. He reminds her of what their trainer called her, the WildCat, because she never gives up. Roman tells her their daughter is still out there. They gotta save her, and someone still needs her. Aide calms down and says she'll finish this. They decide to go after Fraser. On the way, Roman admits to Aide that he still loves her. Roman tells her he ain't scared of anything except her not being in his life again. He promises they'll get their daughter back together. Aide confesses that Charlotte is his daughter and she never got married. Roman is thrilled and says he knew she was his from the start. Meanwhile, Fiennes goes to meet Sia. Sia tells her Fraser is behind the jewelry heist. Fiennes demands to know who told her, but Sia refuses. Then Aide goes to meet Fraser and asks about her daughter. He says some small gang thinks they can compete with the big gangs. Aide cuts him off, asks to see her daughter, and says she has the money he demanded. Fraser ignores her. She gets heated and demands it again. Fraser says her being there is risky for him. She promises she won't do anything if he hands over her daughter. She tells him her brother died. Fraser tells his guy to bring the box. Fraser says he has a gift for her. She freaks out, thinking he killed her daughter, but when she opens the box, it's Sia's head. Just then, Fiennes shows up and says the gift is from her. She killed Sia. Roman shows up with the money in another bag. Aide tells Fraser to open the second bag. He gets nervous and refuses. Roman opens it, revealing explosives. Aide threatens to press the button and blow everyone up if they don't give her daughter back. Fraser is forced to give her daughter back and lets her leave. Fiennes then tells Fraser she's taking the money for her stolen jewels. Fraser refuses. Aide, her daughter, and Roman get out of there. Aide is happy her daughter is safe, but a new gang shows up and threatens to kill them. Aide tells them she'll hit the button, and the explosives inside will detonate, killing everybody. Just then, Fiennes' crew shows up, and the two gangs start a massive shootout. Aide, her daughter, and Roman take cover. Aide decides to blow the place up. The bombs explode and everyone passes out. Roman wakes up and sees his daughter is fine, but Aide is out cold. Luckily, Aide wakes up a little later, and they all make a run for it. The movie ends right there.